Okay.
All right, thanks for joining us. We are going ahead now with the paper review. Let's take a look at some of the headlines on the papers across Nigeria. We have from the University of Lagos, one of our regulars, Dr. Dan Ekere, joining us this morning. Dr. Ekere, good morning.
Thank you. Good
and
morning.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Oh, I wish you.
Valentine's Day.
Yeah, I know Ungo is in the mood. You know,
Because it's always
always on point.
Always on point for all of those. When it comes to weekends, she prepares for weekend ahead.
Interesting.
Valentine's, she prepares ahead.
Why are you guys making this about me?
Okay, sorry.
You are the special person among us.
Exactly.
Accept. Thank you very much.
All right. Well, I think you're
with
starting.
the Daily Trust. Buhari Atiku will accept outcome of credible polls. President Muhammadu Buhari, of course, of the APC, and the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, they were part of the 72 or so presidential candidates that put pen to paper, giving their commitment to ensuring that the elections come and go peacefully.
Yeah, but we need to be very careful with that statement. Did they say they will accept the outcome of the polls? There is a condition, which is that the polls must be credible before the outcome will be
we'll accept so outcome of credible polls. So underline credible.
Beautiful. So that now leaves much, expectation on the leadership of INEC and at the same time the federal government, the one who controls the INEC to a large extent, because they determine the funding of INEC.
This one is not. They are independent.
No, they are not.
They are totally independent. That's what they say.
No, they are not.
But on the other hand,
we are expecting them to work in a manner that will show independence. Okay. But truly, when you look at it fully, the question of independence is neither here nor there.
It looks like INEC is
what
really
we expect
the devil
is that,
and the deep blue
yeah,
sea.
but we know the INEC can do a good job if they choose to. And all we are saying is that they should do a good job.
Okay.
Whoever becomes president will govern Nigeria. Well, it doesn't matter who.
Unfortunately, INEC is being accused of, supporting or giving some kind of leverage to one side against the other.
Well, there will always be accusations.
There will always be.
Always.
We've had that. We've had that since 1960.
There will always be.
Exactly, 1960.
Okay, EU adds Nigeria to dirty money blacklist. Okay, not very cheering one. Well, what they're saying is Nigeria has not been plugging the holes as far as, terrorism money and money laundering and all of that, that coming through into Nigeria. Yeah,
but that's where some of us have actually said that the war against corruption cannot be said to have been won. We are even saying that it has not been fought the way it ought to be fought, because it's not a question of fighting those who have stolen and retrieving. It's the most important thing is even blocking all loopholes, so ensure that stealing no longer takes place. So once you've been able to overcome that, then focusing on those who have stolen will be easier.
Yeah, that may really be the challenge, plugging those loopholes.
And it's critical.
Yeah.
To the fight.
It's quite critical. And besides all of those, apart from the source country where the money is coming from, the destination country also matters.
It's equally very important.
Exactly. Yes. Okay, what else do we have here? How Nigeria recorded 23.44 trillion Naira foreign investment in 5 years. Okay, now this one is not dirty money. We can't call it dirty money. 23.44 trillion. Okay, in 5 years, that good enough if you were to convert, to dollar value? How much would that be?
When you do conversion, it becomes
like
peanuts.
Nothing.
But it's still better than nothing.
Okay, what we have done with it, really.
That's another thing.
Is another
matter. Because what is more important is the level of investment and the employment that it generates. So at the end of the day, 1 or 2 persons will certainly benefit.
But a lot of people will tell you, look, many of these investments, a huge chunk of it is really just portfolio investment.
Seriously, that's the truth.
Not the kind that
really
turn
the
economy
not the FDI that people.
Way.
Very correct.
Yeah. All right, the Nation newspaper is our next one now. Fears over Obasanjo's link with foreign poll observers. Kikwete, that's Jakaya Kikwete, promises a group will be neutral. That's former president of Tanzania, who is leading the Commonwealth Observer Mission. Buhari media expresses concern. All right, I wonder what fears, what fuels this kind of fears generally. All our past president, one way or the other, know, they have a network of people and people they know outside of the shores.
As a matter of fact, that's what makes you a president. If you don't have any of that network, then you cannot be said to have been a good president. So I don't know what could generate fear. That Obasanjo perhaps knows whoever is leading the delegation is not an issue. These members who are coming for observing mission are not going to vote. They will not determine who votes. They are not in charge of security.
They will not campaign.
They will not. So what is the challenge with foreign observers? I really can't find it because, and interestingly, these are the ones who will add credibility to the process.
Yeah, and observers have always said, look, we're only here to observe. The process
that is the
is
word.
all about the process, not the outcome.
Part of why there is this concern is that they said the former president, Obasanjo, must have been influential to the compilation of the list of those who are coming for observer mission.
Let it even be that he's the one who personally compiled the list. How does it change anything? That the people will now come and chase the voters away and do the thumb printing.
But I think in the long run, or with the general picture, when you're representing the Commonwealth, or you're representing the EU, or you're representing the UN and all of that, these are internationally reputable organizations, one way or the other, and they would not adopt or agree to anyone who would.
I don't think.
All right, let's look forward to a brighter day for the elections. Buhari, Atiku, others sign peace accord is part of that. Then Edo University suspends ASU chair for alleged sexual assault. This happened in AAU Ekpoma.
Wow.
And Ambrose Ali University. The ASU chairman is alleged to have sexually demanding sex for, but he's saying this is about blackmail. This is about the issues between ASU and the university. They're just using that as diversionary. That's what he is saying.
What? But there are channels to deal with issues like this, even within the university. Yeah. So why not allow the process to take its full course? If somebody is alleging that the ASU chair has done this against her or whatever, there are processes.
There are procedures.
Yes. So once you follow those procedures and it is established, then there are penalties.
All right.
Yes.
He has threatened to expose, so to say, the vice chancellor of the university and all of that. Now, why Oshibajo's chopper crash landed by AIB? All right. They are saying the chopper of the vice president crash landed because of brownout, what they call brownout. Which is caused by, usually in the aviation, from sandy and dusty environment, as the case may be. So it tells us to a great extent that proper surveillance was not carried out before deciding where he would land.
And in any case, it was a private aircraft, I understood.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but I expected a better, preparation, better arrangement.
Well, people are still asking why the vice president had to fly on a private aircraft.
Yeah, so some were saying that, perhaps to avoid this issue of using the paraphernalia of the office to do this. But that would just be, a kind of a childish excuse, because when you look at the campaigns, the FGN numbers are all over. So, is it the aircraft alone that is part of public funds? So let's not do things that will jeopardize the position of either the president or the vice. For now, it does not matter how evil they may appear. They are the president and vice president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I will almost accord them.
But the real challenge is how do you draw the line?
But the point there is, how do you separate? How do you separate? Because at that point, on the mission to Kaba, it was for political campaign.
Yes.
Not on a mission for state or for governance. It's for
campaigns. As a vice presidential candidate.
As a vice presidential
candidate. As vice president.
Exactly. So that's where
that is going for campaign has not taken away from him the office of the vice president. All right. Now, assuming he was to go on maybe on the by road, perhaps you will be expecting that he will go by a private car. Maybe there should be no police escort. He will go alone, because that is the only thing that can make him be Professor Oshibajo himself.
Okay. And not Vice President
yes.
Oshibajo.
No, but for as long as you say address him as Vice President at that point, as far as we are concerned here, that protection must be given. And if you must give that protection, it goes all around. All right? That the aircraft is going to fly in must be a certified one.
Okay.
All right.
I think when it comes to using states paraphernalia or whatever, the laws have to be very clear.
Here we seem not to have.
That's the nation.
To the Vanguard, that's my last paper. Well, two papers actually this morning. YCCT ordered police DSS to arrest Onogan, that's the suspended CJN. NJC sets up 5-man probe panel, says allegations worth investigating. Of course, the CCT gave a bench warrant calling on Onogan to show up and defend these allegations, and that he cannot really appeal while, he's been ordered to report before the court.
Well, those are issues that have to do with law. And the way law is structured and the way it is practiced, they seem to be two different things. Sometimes you read the law, it looks like plain language, but when it comes to interpretation, it's something else. And the
Well,
more
really, it depends on who is interpreting it.
But that is always the case. Yeah. So for as long as it depends on who is interpreting it, there's that challenge. There will always be that challenge. Yeah.
Okay, campaigns end today. APC in Katsina doubts over PDP's Abuja rally. Of course, the rally that did not hold yesterday, PDP rally, of course, issues there for the PDP. Well, we'll see as campaigns end today. About 24 hours to the election. That is what the electoral law says.
That campaigns have to end 24 hours to election.
Election. Okay. What else? That's it, really. Okay. Except, of course, Mr. and Mrs., talking about Valentine. Happy Valentine, darling. I'm glad you like the flowers, but to be more romantic, we don't have to exchange flowers. That's the guy saying that. And the madam answers, don't worry, dear. I've converted my own flowers to a lovely cake. It was
a baking flower.
Okay.
All right, the Punch is our next paper now, and the last for this morning. CUPP fixes protest for Friday as CCT orders Onogan's arrest. Suspended CJN asks appeal court to void directive. All right, CUPP getting into this now, it seems is giving it the political dimension now.
Well, a political dimension had long been brought into
involved.
It, yeah, so it will be new. But I expect that let the law take its course. Let's not begin to jeopardize, the process. Although there have been claims of, a kind of abuse of the process and all of that. But further abuse will not rectify the situation. So let the law take its course.
And the picture story there tells, shows Buhari, Atiku, others signed peace pact on poll outcome. And
both men full of smiles.
Yeah, exactly.
That in itself
really interesting.
says
it tells
a
the
lot.
camaraderie.
The truth is
that
that
should really send the right signal to their
Yes.
followers that look, at the end of the day, is really about Nigeria.
Yeah,
it's not about...
They are not enemies and they will never be enemies.
And they will never be
enemies.
We are the ones who create enmity out of their own fortunes instead of misfortune.
Okay. EU blacklists Nigeria for money laundering, terror financing risks. Yeah, we've talked about that. Britain to Nigerian politicians incite violence and get visa ban and forfeit assets in the UK. Now, Boko Haram attacked Borno governor's convoy and 3 were killed. It's really a sad incident that took place yesterday. PDP shuns Ogun as Buhari, Atiku take final rallies to home states. Okay. And, PDP worries over intimidation of voters, journalists, others. And AIB blames poor visibility for Oshibajo helicopter crash. We talked about that before. And Lagos-Ibadan Road, motorists groan as military men cause gridlock on Long Bridge. They have complained about some military officers from the Navy precisely who have been, causing traffic jam along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway sometime.
Well, the Navy? Is there a sea or a river in that neighborhood?
Well, they said it's naval ratings. That's what the report says.
Wow.
Or at least men in naval uniform.
I think we need to really
because
exactly let the job of the police be done by the police.
Naval uniforms.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Diana Kere, lecturer of the University of Lagos, joining us for the paper review this morning and look at the headlines.
Thank you. The pleasure is always mine.